let's transition onto hands and knees into tabletop. So, good time to give attention to your hands. Spread them wide. When we're teaching kids, we talk about starfish hands, so not a bad description. Middle fingers are forward, and do a little wiggling around until you can make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and that your knees are right underneath your hips. And then just kind of swing your hips side to side. So rock the table. And might be a good time to swing your head around a little bit, invite your neck to release. Great. And then once you push your hips towards your heels, pause, step your hands even further forward if they go. And then we're going to move. We're going to breathe in and we're going to come on forward into a kneeling push-up position. And then we're going to come back, hips toward the heels. Use some of your belly muscles to kind of pull in to help that happen. And then start to find a nice flow here. Exhale as you come back. And going at the rate of your own breathing. So my inhales and exhales might not match yours. So very important that you are just doing it in a way that works for you. And then super gentle yogis, you might stay right down here on the floor. Those who want a little bit more, curl your toes under and come into downward facing dog. And then forward into a high plank. Good. Use the flow of breath. Inhale brings you forward. Exhale sends you back. Nice. And then we'll all meet up in a downward facing dog. And lots of room for preference here as far as whether you want your feet wide apart or close together. And you can experiment and see what is best for you. But push into your hands and do scoop the belly in a bit in order to help pull your hips higher up. Let your heels just kind of drop toward the ground. Good. Let's return to a high plank just for a moment and then drop your knees. Uncurl your toes, look forward, and slowly with some upper body strength, lower yourself right down so your belly comes right to the mat, and then pause here. Move my equipment. Slide your hands wide so that they're right about at the edge of the mat, and then I'd like you to widen out your feet just to be spacious for your low back, and then start to lift up into cobra and back down. And some of you will only lift a few inches up off the mat, and some of you just might lift up even higher than I do. So in and out of cobra. You can tap your forehead down when you come down if you want. I like to breathe in when I'm opening the front of the body and then breathe out when I'm dropping down. And then some of you might want to make this into kind of a circular motion where you look over your right shoulder as you lower, kind of swing through the center, look over your left shoulder as you come back up. So we call these rolling cobras. And just make sure that the way that you're breathing feels right for you, kind of matching up with the movement. And move through those shoulders as much as you can. Pause when you come up, and let's reverse the direction of the circles a couple times. I hope you're still breathing. I hope that you're settling more and more into the joy of being alive and practicing yoga together. Nice. And then we're going to lower ourselves down. Stack your hands, bend your legs, and you can put your forehead down or one of your cheeks and swing your feet from side to side. Let your back muscles relax. Listen to the sound of your breath. Great. And then slow to lower down, and then I'd like you to let your feet land. And then take your right knee, bend it, and take it over to the right, and put your right kneecap about in line with your right hip. This is called half frog. And I'm just going to have you stay here just for a few moments. Let your hips be heavy. You want to create a nice strong stretch. Some folks will stay here. Some folks will straighten the right leg out so that the inseam of both legs is lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Keep letting the pelvis drop and send that relaxation message to your right groin to drop. And a couple more moments here. And then we're going to progress by taking the left arm out to the side with the underside of the arm facing the ground. So your palm is down and you walk those left fingertips away from the armpit. And then you're going to take the left side of your head, put it right down on the mat. Take your right hand and slide it right in front of your right chest. And then as you bend your right knee, we're going to roll onto the outer left hip, lifting your right knee in the sky. And some folks might be able to drop the right foot behind. We're definitely targeting a big stretch for the left shoulder here. Melt your left hip down toward the ground. Feel any stretch you're getting across the front of the pelvis and what's happening through the legs. Melt your left chest even more and the left side of your neck. Release tension. Make sure your jaw is easy. Deep breath. When you exhale, settle into that left shoulder opener even a little more. Good. We're going to turn back, belly down. And we'll do all that on the other side. So hands can stack. Bend your left knee. Take it outside onto the ground. And then your head is positioned anywhere that's supportive and comfortable for you. And some folks will stay here in half frog on this side. And some will straighten out the left leg. Good. And then you want to feel length of the right leg, stretch of the inseam of the left leg. Smooth the breath. Send that relaxation message to the pelvis, left groin. Follow the breath as it comes in and out of the body. Every time the mind gets distracted, just come back to what's happening in the now. Good. In preparation for continuing, the right arm comes out to the side, right palm down. So let me get ready to stretch that right shoulder. Right side of the head comes to the earth. Left hand comes in front of the left chest. We'll retract and rebend that left knee if need be. Lift the left knee high. Keep letting the left leg drop back to any degree that's possible for you. Take very good care of your right shoulder. Breathe. This would be a point where you could have a little blanket or something underneath the side of your head if that's necessary. And if you want more of a stretch for your right shoulder, walk your right fingertips further away from your right armpit. Take a few deep breaths here. Any place in the body that softens and starts to stretch and open, just kind of move into that openness, relaxed curiosity. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. When you are ready, no rush, come back to belly down. And together we will travel back to a wide-kneed child's pose and we'll add a little twist. So we'll kind of have put our shoulders through quite a full range of motion. So the knees go wide and the hips wiggle on back toward the heels. And then when you lean into your left hand, take your right hand and thread it underneath your left armpit, reach it across, and then drop your right shoulder. Left hand can become a really handy pillow if you want, or your left arm can stretch longer. And here we're creating length in the body by pulling the hips back and stretching forward to the left hand if that's what we chose. Melt your right shoulder down, create a little more space from your right earlobe to your right shoulder. Breathe into a soft belly. Exhale, pull the belly in a little bit in order to press the breath out. And together we'll slide that left palm in front of the face, unthread your right hand, look right, and to the best of your ability, just keep on reaching up here. So we still have the knees wide, our hips are toward our heels, we're pushing into the left hand, reaching really high with the right, and looking to the right. All right, come on down, right palm plants, left hand threads under the right armpit, reach it across, tuck the left shoulder down. Again, your right hand could be a little pillow if that's best or what you need, or you can stretch your right arm long. Pull your left shoulder down away from your left earlobe. Let your belly really fill that space between the thighs. And as you breathe out, firming in, squeezing the air out so you can really be empty. And we go from very full to very empty, all within the cycle of a breath. Slide your right hand in front of your face, push into it, unthread your left hand, twist left, and rise up. Keep on reaching, stretching. Beautiful. Let's come into tabletop and just move it around a few standing poses. So you can come back to just that rocking table if you liked, or if you know the cat and cow movement, you can tip up your hips and your chest, breathe in, and exhale, round and tuck. Good, inhale. So any kind of little bit of movement right here is good. Check in with a little sound to your breath. Beautiful. Nice. And then please curl your toes under. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Rock onto your toes. And you must take good care of your knees, so don't force things in any way. If you're able to stay in this crouched position and let the feet and the lower legs stretch, do so. If that doesn't work for you, just come into a very soft fold like that. So if you're down with me in the squat, pause, scoop the belly in, bring your cheekbones down towards your kneecaps to any degree. Walk your fingertips forward. Bring your gaze down to your toes. Good. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Push your heels to meet the floor. And here we'll just hang in a forward fold. So some of you will take hold of your opposite elbows into ragdoll. Some of you might be feeling the need to support yourself by holding onto your legs. And some of you might tuck your chin in and take your hands behind your back and find a bind, palm to palm, interlace your fingers and lift those knuckles up. Pull your head down, lengthen your legs without forcing, but encouraging a little more length there. And maybe give your head a shake. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then when you release your hands, let your hands fall right down toward the floor. And then we're going to roll up to standing together. Your arms can come all the way up and out. Overhead, bring your palms together. Slide your thumbs to your heart. And when you walk to the top of your mat, I'm going to stop for a 5-breath pause. Good. So you stay right where you are. I just want to talk to you. What is important about the 5-breath pause is it doesn't take long. 5 breaths is about 30 seconds, but it is enough time to regroup, recollect yourself, check in, see how are you relating to the present moment, how are you relating to your breath, and is there any way that you could have more ease and alertness. So 5-breath pause right there. And then we're going to start to move. We'll do some gentle flow. So take the arms out and up, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Just bow to the beauty of life. Inhale, hands to the shins, reach your chest forward, and breathe out and fold again. So we're going to do several of those half sun salutations. Root into your feet, strong through your legs. Reach as absolutely high as you can. Feel the hands touch. Exhale, fold completely, all the way down. Just bowing, bowing. Inhale into the half lift. Breathe out and fold. Reach for the earth. Inhale, reach up for the sky. And one more time. Exhale, fold. Notice any degree of coordination, suppleness, strength, flexibility that you're experiencing right now. Good. Bring your hands back to the center. Thumbs to the heart. Deep breath. Good. And we're going to do a few standing strengthening poses. So please, as I said, step to the top of your mat and find yourself anchored onto your right foot. Put your hands on your hips and lift up the left knee. Then lift it up further if you can. If that just gets too crazy for you, keep your left toes right down on the mat. Otherwise, let's just see if we can balance here. And I assure you, I'm wiggling and wobbling just like you are, but that's part of the art of balancing. So a lot of attention right down in your right foot. Those who want to try, take your arms up overhead. All right. If you want to try even further, take your left foot in front of you. All right, we're going to step back to warrior one. So I'm going to put my hands back on my hips and then step back with the left foot. And then usually a little adjusting is required here. The left toes are turned out slightly. The right knee is bent. And then you might just back and forth, shifting your weight from your front foot to your back foot until you feel like kind of standing on both feet equally. And then stay. Take your arms up. And you can bring your biceps somewhere around your ears. And if your shoulders are tight, your arms can be much wider. And just take a few breaths here. As you press back into your back foot, feel that back leg stretch. Those who like to take the bind, we can come into humble warrior. Take your palms together, interlace your fingers, stretch your knuckles back. Keep weighted in your back foot and start to tip your gaze down out in front of you. Lean forward. Be bringing that right chest a little closer to the right thigh or the right knee. Breathe in, breathe out. Great. And then come all the way back up. Nice. Unbind your hands. Take your fingertips forward. And can you step completely onto your right foot? Some of you will hop on those left toes. Others of you will lift the left foot up high. Some of you might keep it down low and just stretch right here. Push back through the left foot, forward through the right fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to step back onto that left foot. So hands to the hips if you want, step right back on. And then we're going to swivel the torso to the left so we can come into warrior two. You're going to adjust your footing a little bit. You want that right heel to align with your left arch. And then turn your torso to face the side of your mat. And take your arms into a T shape. Turn your gaze beyond your right fingertips. Energize the underside of your arms and relax the top side of your arms. And then just sink down a little bit deeper if you can. Push equally into both feet. Warrior two. An exalted warrior, take your left hand back to your left thigh. Turn your right palm up. Reach it up and lean back a little bit. Some of you will lean back more. Breathe in, breathe out. And we're going to shift into triangle by straightening the right leg, sending the hips back toward the left heel, arms return to that T shape, and then reach your right fingertips forward, look to the left, and take the back side of your right hand to the inside of your right calf, and do whatever you can to lift up tall through the left fingertips. And trying to create somewhat of a straight line from the top of your head through your shoulders down to your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. Good job. Back to warrior two. So rebend your right knee. Take the gaze forward. Well done. Hands to the hips, and we're going to try to step back to the top of the mat. So however you can do that's good. And then shake it out. You can shake everything if you want to. All right, let's do that on the other side. Let's press into the left foot. Come on the toes of the right and just pause. Anchor your awareness down in your left foot and your left leg. And then play around lifting the right knee. You might find you're a little more challenged on this side or maybe more stable. Who knows? Just crane. Some of you might want to lift the arms up. Breathe. Just show up. Don't be attached to whether or not you feel like you can really do it well or not. That just isn't the point. Just try. And then you can stretch out with your right foot if you want. Good. I'm going to step back to warrior one. I'm going to put my hands on my hips to do that. Step way foot. Turn your right toes out a little bit. Walk your left foot left if needed. And then just steer your hips forward. And then bend that left knee and then push back into the back foot. Kind of go forward and back a little bit until you feel that you have both feet really connected to the ground. Let's stay and hold. Let's bring the hands forward and up. Again, the arms can be closer together if you're more open through the shoulders, or they can be wider, just depending on what you need. Breathe. Option to take the bind, palm to palm, interlace your fingers behind your back, lengthen. And then an option to tip forward. Exalted warrior. Reach back through your knuckles, reach forward through the top of your head. Stay anchored, especially that back foot. Beautiful. And then bring the hands forward. We'll step into warrior three. You can hop those right toes back up until you're anchored into your left foot and do whatever you can. Stretch back through your right foot. Reach through your fingertips. Big breath in and out. Hands to hips, and we'll step back to warrior two. So land that back foot, and you probably need to walk your left foot toward the center of your mat a little bit more. Turn your torso toward the right. Take your arms into a T. Anchor. Get strong in the legs. Really reach out. Energize the underside of your arms. Relax your shoulders a bit. And your gaze is right beyond your left fingertips. You're relaxed and focused. Strong. Exalted warrior, right hand comes back, left hand lifts, opening through the left side body, really deep breathing here. Heading to triangle by straightening the left leg, shift your hips back towards your right heel a lot, reach forward through your left fingertips, and then as you are looking to the right, take the back of your left hand, connect it to the inside of the left calf and reach up to any extent through your right fingertips. Body forming maybe somewhat of a straighter line from the head through the shoulders right down to the hips. Big breath. Warrior two, left knee bends, arms come back to that T, and just find it for a moment. Hands to the hips, step forward right up to the top of your mat, and then just give everything a shake. Good, well done. All right, please join me to drop right down onto our backs.